All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to work on a Crescent tool company. It looks like it says 50, 0, and then 7 underneath. These are actually in really good shape, teeth-wise, cutter-wise, no handle, made in USA. And I'm going to do, this video is going to be for beer drinker. I'm going to show them some of the way I polish. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm not going to treat it with any chemical to get the rust off or anything like that. All I'm going to do is basic, just wire wheel. And then I'm going to go to the fiber wheel and clean it off with the fire wheel, and then go to the polisher and see how that works. I'm not going to use any chemical. There is a lot of rust. If you look real close, this thing is rusted. It's a good used tool just as it sits, but I'm going to clean it up and make it look nice. But I'm going to do it on the very, let's say, low-end scale, cheap scale of just basic. You can't get any more basic than a Dremel tool. You can probably do everything with a Dremel tool right here, cleaning this up and make it a good used tool. It's just, the Dremel tool is going to take a lot of time. Where I can do this with a wire wheel, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the wire wheel, the Scotch-Brite wheel. I call it Scotch-Brite wheel. Sorry, that's fiber wheel. And then I'm going to use a polisher, just a 1-inch by 8-inch stitch polishing wheel with black polish compound. And this is what I use. Let me back up. Hang on. This is cheap Harbor Freight stuff. It works good. Now, this Tripoli brand, this Fomax brand, see if I can get a good name on it. This is, I thought I had another one. This is Fomax. And this is Brown Rouge. And it'll tell you, you know, what you can use it for, what white, what red, emery. This brand, here, I got a better, there's another one here. There's a Fomax brand. That's what it is, Fomax. To tell you the truth, I could not tell the difference between this brick. Let's see if I'll open it up here. Sorry, this video will be kind of long for you guys. Some guys don't want to watch this. That's fine, I don't care. This is for beer drinker anyways. See, it's just a big brick. I find that this cheap Harbor Freight stuff seems to work as good as this stuff. I gotta remind you guys, I'm an amateur when it comes to this stuff. There's guys out there on YouTube that show a lot better at doing this. I don't know how to say it, except some of them I can't trust. And the reason I say that, some of them doesn't show complete detail. Because sometimes you could spend 45 minutes polishing. That's not cleaning it, and that's not wasting time stripping it and all that. That's just polishing. Normally, I edit my videos. When I edit and I fast forward 400%. So it looks like it's real quick, and it's not. Sometimes I can take, if the metal, and I don't know how to explain it, but some metals will polish better and faster than other metals. And like I said, I'm not good at this. What I do, I practice. Every time I hit a polishing wheel or I work on a tool, clean it up, I'm practicing. I don't care. I mean, it's my tools, my rules. I do it my way. And I just try to show some of you guys how I do it. And it's, sometimes I spend too much time on some of these, And sometimes it's, I can hit a buffing wheel within 5-6 minutes. The tool looks great. And I don't know if it's me prepping it better ahead of time or the metal's just better quality. I can't say. I just know I just play with it and go just however it goes. This tool here should be a very high quality steel, especially since it's probably made 1950s, 1960s. The older the steel I find, the better the quality, I guess I should say. Now sometimes you can get like 1910s, 1920s. The quality steel is not as good because the casting, how they made some of these tools were rough, let's say. But anyways, let's get started. I'll take this to the wire wheel, put my gloves on, and we'll just give this a good cleaning. And then we'll go to the fiber wheel. Okay, here, let's get started on this. Sorry, let me try to. This is just the wire wheel. I took most of the rust off. I'm gonna use a Dremel tool to get down in there a little bit. But now, I'm gonna go to the fiber wheel. And this fiber wheel, this one is it's worn pretty low. I'm trying to use it all up. This is the newer one that I have. And this one right here is a 400 grit. I had to look back at my paperwork that I wrote down. Can't read Chinese, so I don't know the company. I look for 600 grit. That's what I look for when I buy. Next time I buy, I'm gonna try to get 600 or maybe an 800 grit. I'd like to run something a little finer, but it doesn't matter. This is, if you do anything, if you just want to do a couple things, you could run the tool, how it was rusted, you could run it over a wire wheel and then over a fiber wheel. This is a fibrous wheel. This is not rock wheel like this one is, a stone wheel. This is fibrous. This is pretty much, think of it as Scotch-Brite that's compacted and glued together. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know any other way to describe it. But it does a really good job. Beer Drinker, I think he told me, his email he sent me, it said it was 160 grit, which that's fine. I mean, I've cleaned tools with my 1x30 belt sander with 120 grit on it. So long as it cleans them and I can wax them or oil them, I'm good. I go polish them just to make them look good. But let's hit it on this fiber wheel and we'll see what we get. That's just, I don't know, minute maybe. See what it does on that side? All I hit was 4 facets right here. See the difference? And that's just the fiber wheel. So all I know the rest of this, I'm just going to polish the end. This is the top, the facets right here. I'm not polishing it. All right, that's the fiber wheel, that's the head. And when you do that, after you do the fiber wheel, it loses its polish when you, especially with dirty gloves like that. But once you hit it on the polisher, it polishes pretty good. And if you look real closely, you can see pitting. I'm not taking that out. I mean, you can get you a flat disc on a grinder, put it in a vise, or you can put it on a belt sander and get all that off. I don't care. This is a good used tool, so there's no reason to go that, for me anyways, there's no reason to go that far. Sometimes I do over polish things, but this is just gonna be just a good used tool. I don't wanna put, 2 hours into it. I guess I think I explained that right. Okay, now here's where I'm gonna talk about a little bit of polishing on different wheels. I like this kind of wheel right here. It has a stitch about every ½ inch. And as you use this, it wears down and that stitch will come undone and you get a ½ inch of like fuzz like this. This one was an 8-inch wheel and I wore it down. And what I'll do is when this wears down, this one over here on this machine, I just use this to dry polish. There's no compound or anything on this little wheel. I'll polish on this wheel. I'll put my compound on this wheel and I'll polish on it. And when I get to a certain point, I'll come over here and just dry buff it off to see how the polish is looking. That's what I do. There's other people that do better jobs of it, but that's what I do. I'm comfortable with it. It makes my tools look good. I save these wheels. When this wheel here I'm almost to the point now. I'm about an inch from touching the metal washers. I'll stick this wheel on and I'll do the same thing. And what this was one of these wheels. I wore it down so much, and then what I did is I took carburetor cleaner and I cleaned it, kind of good. Then, while it was on there, I just took a Sawzall blade and I just left it on there until I got it as white as possible. And that's what I come up with. And now let's get to different wheels. These are a loose leaf wheel. See that? I do not like these wheels. And like this one, I don't like these wheels. I don't know what it is about the wheels. I'll show you. I have one here, and I'll use this. The only reason I use this wheel pretty much is to polish plastic or aluminum, but pretty much plastic. You have to be careful with different plastics. I test like screwdrivers, most of them I'll dry polish with this. I'll clean them real good, and sometimes I'll put a coat of wax on them, come over here and polish it with this, with nothing on it, just a dry wheel. This is all this is a dry wheel. Now I have put red rouge on this, which I have a red rouge right here. I have tried it and tested it. I don't really see a benefit. I don't like it. My go-to wheel, let me get back over here, I'm sorry, is this wheel right here. It's an 8-inch wheel like this, and it has stitch every ½ inch. So you can see the stitches there. Oops, sorry. See the stitching every ½ inch? And as you get down to that stitch, it'll start coming unravel. Don't worry about it, just let it unravel. You don't have to pull the stitch out, it'll come out by itself. You can see I'm right to the stitch level, like right here. You can see the stitch level right there. Oh, heck. Sorry. You can see the stitch level. See as it goes in, it just wears. Don't worry about it, it'll wear itself. And when I get down to about the second stitch, I will take this off and put the other one on. I've got another one I'll put on. But I save, when it gets down, I save it and then I put them over here on this wheel. Remember, this is my dry wheel, this is my polishing wheel. And what I'll do, I clean it over time. It'll get kind of packed with the black polishing compound. And I just clean it up. And the only ones, and I was doing it with a pocket knife. And I was watching Scoutcrafter, one of his videos, and he was actually using a saw blade, which that's when I got a Sawzall blade and thought, well, heck, I got tons of these. So that's how, and you see the little Furbies coming out. Don't worry about that. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. And when I clean it off, after I do clean it off, then I come back. Put about a second, I load it up with the polishing compound. And then I'll start polishing. And there again, I am not gonna get all the nicks and dents out of this. I don't want to. That's not what I'm shooting for. What I'm shooting for is a good, clean, usable tool. Now, if this was a piece of art, I'd go over there on the 1x belt sander or a disc sander on a 4-inch and just clean this thing up, get all the nicks and grinds, everything out of it. You can even do that by hand with a block of wood and some sandpaper, different grits of sandpaper, and do that. That'll take a long time. But that's how I do it. And now I'm going to start buffing and I'll show you. All right, that's real time. And if you look real close, it polished it pretty good. I mean, that's not the best polish, but, well, I don't even know how many minutes that was. That wasn't but a couple minutes. You can see this side, it's dull, kind of dull finish, and you can see the polish on this. And that's it, that's all I did, nothing fancy. Now, I'll tell you what, this, if you look at the wrench real close, you can see Crescent marked on this side. This is the side that's polished. On the side that says tool, on this side, I'm gonna try something. Let's go over to the 1x30. I'll put the medium fiber belt on, and then the fine fiber belt on, and then I'll go to the fiber wheel and see what we come up with. Okay, this is a fibrous belt, I can't tell you, it's a medium grit. I got 3 grits. I got a fine, medium, and heavy. And I got this idea from 357 Magdad, or Magdad 357. I like these. They last quite a long time, actually. And if you look real close, it's a fiber. There again, I call it a Scotch-Brite belt. Looks like Scotch-Brite to me. I'm gonna put this on. Come on. The only reason I don't use the heavy duty one is the heavy one for some reason doesn't want to work on my machine here. Okay, we want the tool side. Okay, if you look real close, it got rid of most of the pitting. See the difference? That's the polished side that I did. And you can see that it says Crescent right there. That's the side I side. This side's a tool. It's marked tool side. And that's what I did with that. That's a medium grit fiber belt. Now, take this off. I'm gonna put the find. This is a find. I have no idea what grit this is. I can't tell you. Magdad bought a set of 3, and when I saw that video, I went and bought a set just after he did. So, and I like these. These work good. All right, that's the fine. You see the dust. That's the polished side still. The polished side is the Crescent. Tool side, all I did is these little 4 facets right here. Now I'm going to go to the fiber wheel and hit it on the fiber wheel and then go back and polish it. Let's just show it all in once. go. That's just a little bit on that wheel, and I did just the 4 facets. The 2 sides, the top, and this bottom part. I really need to hit the bottom right here. Make sure, yeah, tool side. Yeah, that'll do. All right, now I'm going to polish this. Oh hell, let's just walk over here. Okay, remember Crescent, the side marked Crescent, I've already polished a little bit. And this side is where I did the little extra work. It says it's marked tool, tool, this is this side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that side's marked tool, and that's the polish I did with the little extra belt sanding and going back on the polishing wheel. And you can see I took a lot more of the pitting out that way. See the difference? This is the side I polished without doing any of the belt work. And that's the side I did with the polish, with the belt. Using the medium grit, fine grit, fiber belt, and then going back over the firewheel and then just hitting the buffer. And remember, this was a rusty tool. It was coated in rust. It didn't look good, didn't look very usable, but I didn't even bother using vinegar. I didn't use any type of cleaner. I just went right to the wire wheel and started cleaning it. So you don't have to use chemical on everything. Sometimes just a plain brass coated wire wheel, cheapy Harbor Freight wheel works. It works good. You don't have to do all the, you don't have to buy all the high dollar stuff. You can buy a cheap end, low end stuff and still get a pretty good quality. Actually now, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna hit the whole thing with the fiber belt because that looks good. and that doesn't. So now I'm just gonna clean the whole thing up. I'm gonna spend, I don't know how long this video is gonna be, sorry. But I'll spend probably another 15 minutes or so on the fiber wheel, the belt, the fiber belts, and then polishing. All total, it probably won't take me 30 minutes to actually clean this head part up. The rest of it, I think I'm going to coat this with heat shrink tubing. These will be a good pair of pliers. I might as well make them look brand new if I can. I'm already halfway there, or a third of the way there, just by that end right there. So, okay, beer drinker, I hope I answered some more questions. I'm sorry I don't have exact name. I don't have links on my videos. I kind of wish I did sometimes, but sometimes I don't think it's right to sell something or tell someone to buy something I don't feel 100% on. Everything I use is cheap. It's junk. All my let's see, can't see the video. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bench grinders, and then I got the belt sander, and all of them except for this were used junk. I bought them used. So none of my stuff's high dollar or fancy. Anyways, I thought I'd let you know that. It's just, you don't have to have the best items out there. You can make do with what little I've got here. I hope that helps. Let me finish this and then I'll show the heat shrink tubing, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'm down to the point now where I'm using some heat shrink tubing for the handles. Just sliding. I don't even know what size this is. I don't have paperwork. It looks like it's about ½ inch. Anyways, I cut some off earlier, so I don't know how that's going to look, but I got it even about where I want, I think. So let's see how this works. Stupid. I look at it real carefully to make sure I got all the wrinkles and the bumps out. Cut the end off here. All right, let me go over to the fiber wheel and clean up the ends a little bit, and then we'll see what we got. All right, I'm gonna use some mother's wax. For you guys don't know, I use it pretty much for everything. Wood, glass, you name it, I use it. It's good wax. It's a cleaner wax, so I use it. Might as well just put a little wax on the handles. This, if you guys haven't tried it, the heat shrink tubing makes great handle coatings. Hands down better and cheaper than the dip it stuff. I don't like the dip it stuff. That stuff sucks. It just, until they come out with a better product, I don't even bother with the dip it stuff. That's a joke. For me anyway, you can do what you want. If you want to pay that much money for dip it, you go ahead. Plus you can't buy one can unless you're doing just one item, because as you use the material, it reduces the amount in the can. And if you got a long pair of pliers, you got to add to it. All right, guys, check that out. That was a rusty piece of junk Crescent tool, Jamestown. It's not a 50, it's a third. No, wait, it's a 50 and then a 7 underneath. Made in USA. Now, if you look real closely, you can still see some pitting. I did not take all of it out. On the edges here, on the I call them facets, got most of them out, but the ones that are, especially on this side, I think these pliers sit in a toolbox that may have had moisture. It's usually, that's how you can deduct how it happens, because the way it sits in a toolbox. But, and you have to admit, looks pretty good. You can see, if you look real closely, you can see I scratched that facet right there with the little tiny wire wheel to clean the inside. I cleaned the inside up in there, and I scratched right there the polishing part. And these pliers look good. I mean, they look brand new. If you got them an arm's length away, you don't notice the pitting at all. So yeah, I'm happy with them. And I went back, like I said, I did one side, wire wheel, and then the fiber wheel, and then polish. And that was the Crescent side. This is the Crescent side. This is the tool side. And I went back and used the fiber belts, the medium and fine, and then went to the fiber wheel, and then went to the polisher and polished it. And it was so nice on that side that I went ahead and did all of it. I just went back over it again. But I didn't use any chemical cleaner. There was no chemical cleaner on this. I didn't use any vinegar. I didn't use Rust-Oleum product or Evaporust. I just cleaned it. That's all I did. Speaking of cleaning, I'll drop a little drop of oil down in there. I mean, they weren't locked up by any means, and they're not loose. They don't have play or anything like that. But now I've got a good pair of linemans. Actually, they feel pretty good in the hands. I didn't realize they have a good, the space right here is really, it holds it in the hand real well. And these are old. Ladies and gentlemen, these are probably made in the 50s or 60s. It's a good used tool. It's not, I looked some of these up. I went to our tractor supply store here in town, and they had pliers resembling this right here. I think they were Crescents, and they were $17.95. So I got $1 in these or less. I mean, a little bit of my time, and you can see you don't have to go as far as I did on this. I mean, in the beginning, a wire wheel would have been fine. And then you could have went to a little fiber wheel, and that would have been fine. And then I did a little light polish. So Anyways, beer drinker, I hope I did some good for you. I hope you can see something, and I'll try to, I need to buy another pad. I need to buy another one of these. I may go buy tomorrow and get one. I need one more of these stitch pads, and that way I can get a brand on it. Like I said, this is what I use mainly for polishing. And I put my black product, which my product I use is this old cheap Harbor Freight. I've bought more expensive stuff, but I keep going back to it because I could not tell a difference between this product and the stuff I bought off of Amazon. And it was Fomax. I can't complain. I mean, okay, look at the result. That's what I got with a cheap old little stick. And I'm sure you could buy it in bulk cheaper than what I can get at Amazon, but I mean, what I get at Harbor Freight, Amazon probably, or maybe eBay, you can probably bulk buy this stuff even cheaper. But this is what I use, just the old black stick. And I was trying, got brown, got gray. Yeah, I do. Like this is what I'm using. All right, this video's long. Beer drinker, I hope that helps. Any of you other guys, if you got questions, let me know. Tell me what you think. I think it was worth the time cleaning it up because it's a good pair of pliers. There's value here, even resale value if you wanted to clean your tools up and turn around and resale. But I use mine. I keep them in my boxes. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Give me thumbs up, thumbs down. And I'm sorry if this video is long, but I really made it for beer drinker. And the rest of you guys, if you watch this long, thanks. If not, well, I appreciate what little bit you did watch. Y'all have a good day now.